Happy Wednesday to the viewing audience. Hope you all are well. My prayers, condolences to those out in Texas, those who have lost loved ones, children, uh, who have perished in the floods, and continue prayers for those who are on the rescue mission to search and retrieve those lost and possibly remains. Thank you for your time. This is a two-part live pertaining to Travis Decker and Bryan Kohberger. I want to talk about uh, Bryan Kohberger for just a second. As most of you know, he has pled guilty to the murders of the Idaho 4 students. But what is interesting is that we won't get much information to the motive and how he came about finding the young women. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. We won't find out why he chose these kids and how he came about choosing them and who was his target or targets. In his written confession, he admits to murdering the kids and that he intended to kill them with malice. That is in his written confession. So what was the motive? I don't think it really matters, the motive, because in the end, he did not know them. He did not know them. There's no connection that proves that he knew them or that the children knew him. So it really doesn't matter, the motive. You could ask that for people who know each other, co-workers, boss, co-worker, neighbors. You find out a neighbor killed another neighbor, then you can say, well, why did he kill her? Why did he kill her? But a random person, you can just use deduction, common sense. Something's wrong with this person, ill, bitter, mad. It's not to say that anybody who commits this type of crime, even if it's a neighbor situation, don't have these same qualities. But you can use deduction. He's ill, psychotic, possibly had a point to prove. He admitted with malice, intent. So in the end, the motive doesn't matter. But it was not in the paperwork. Naturally, the Gonzalez family are upset, angry. They feel like they've been failed by the system, the judicial system. They said they had faith in the system, but obviously they don't have faith in the system now because they don't feel like they have justice. They want the DA or wanted the DA to press forward with going to trial, which most of you know going to trial is very expensive. It costs a lot of money to put on a trial, especially a very high profile trial. And then you have an attorney going back and forth with the judicial system trying to put this trial off. So that costs money, back and forth, paperwork, filing paperwork, all that costs. And those are things people don't think about when it comes to the judicial system. Everything is a cost. You attending court, it costs you to stand there, to represent yourself. Whether you speak, you don't speak. Whether you enter guilty, not guilty, Alfred plea, or the judge puts in a plea for you, it costs to stand there. It costs to turn the lights on. Keeping it real. It costs to have the doors open. It costs to type up the charges, any amendments, any indictments. It costs. Now, as I had said before in my previous commentary, the Chapin family and the Morgan family are content with his confession and no trial. But the Gonzalez family, they are not. Naturally, or shall I say, as expected, the Gonzalez family has been the most vocal pertaining to the victims' family members. And naturally, they are the ones who are not pleased. Don't you find it interesting? The ones who are the most vocal are the ones who are still at the end of this diabolical situation. They are not pleased with the said outcome of Mr. Kohberger rendering a guilty plea. He signed his plea a day before he attended court, which was last week. Many are going to ask why. I asked all those questions last week. Why did he decide to sign the plea? Did he realize his case was going nowhere? That they had too much evidence against him? Although he planned this out, it appears to be from data gathered from his phone, stalking the girls, at least let's say August, July, August, because he just got to school in June. So he started, a month later, stalking the King Road home and the inhabitants. He did not dot all his I's and cross all his T's because there were things he left behind, such as the data, things in his phone pertaining to the young women. Possibly when he started stalking them, probably got lots of pictures, messaging one of the young ladies. She never responded. Once again, his phone pinging, car being seen there at the King Road home, even the day of, the morning of, and hours later, after the murders. He did not follow through carefully. And if indeed he studied a certain serial killer, Bundy, um, any other notorious killer, wanting to mimic them, it really didn't matter because he did not carry it out until the end. He unalived them, but he still got caught. So he did not do well. He did not fare well, as I'm sure he thought he had. The thumbs up picture hours later after murdering these kids. Very bodacious gesture. But he's a narcissist, doesn't care, psychopath, doesn't care. What we have to ask now is the ultimate question. Will he speak later on down the road? Once he gets comfortable in prison, he realizes, I'm not coming out. I know I'm not coming out. I don't have anything going on but talking to relatives, any nutbag that wants to write me. Will he decide to speak to someone publicly about how he came to find the young ladies, who was the target, and the motive? If everyone is so excited about a motive, I don't really think it matters. I think it's obvious. He's sick. What does the motive matter? But humans ask. And what do I always say? Why ask why? Why don't you ask why not? Because you have to think like a killer in order to understand that the motive means nothing. It only matters to you. It only matters to you, an outsider. It doesn't matter to him or her. But nonetheless, will he speak to someone? Will he speak to Dr. Ramsey? Will he choose her, or will he choose a high-profile news network to give his rendering of how he came to Washington? Because I think that's also prevalent in the storyline. Why did he choose Washington State? Because what is interesting is that we heard over a year ago that possibly he had been stalking the girl or girls a year before he went to Washington State. And I've also mentioned that in my commentary. Could it be he found these girls on social media or through school brochures or pictures before he even applied to Washington State? And that would be even more diabolical. That he planned this trip, got into the school, luckily, all from an obsession with a female. Now that would be more interesting than a motive, because that would start your motive. That would be the beginning of your motive. I applied to this school because I became fascinated with a female's photograph. Shut your mouth. So did he find one of these females before he applied to Washington State? That is a question I have yet to get an answer from law officials to put a stamp on the date that he applied to Washington State versus first contact and or gathering of photographs of the victims, because that would give you an appropriate timeline if this is a possible reason why he applied to the school. He found one of these women, he became obsessed with them through photographs, videos, and then he applied to school. Or had he already applied to school and then stumbled across the victims? That's my commentary. Travis Decker, everybody. Woo! Hot butter mess. A lady said she believes she saw Mr. Decker. This is a very diabolical case as well of a man who has been accused of murdering his 3 girls. Mother advocating for him. The mother of the children, that he was really a nice guy up until this, just had some problems. And as I said to the nurse yesterday when I was at the hospital getting my EKG and all that good stuff done, lab work, to prep for surgery 2 weeks from now, I said to her, I said, my opinion is, who advocates for a person who's murdered their children? I stand firm on that commentary, and I'm not backing down from it. I can't even look at this woman with a straight face and have any respect for her because you're making excuses for a human being that you did not know. Now, either she's just fudging this for the cameras and news, but my thing is, I don't have to defend anyone who's killed my kids. I don't care if he never beat me. He never pushed me, punched me. You stole my babies and you stole them ruthlessly. You suffocated them. That's something this lady needs to acknowledge because I don't think she's even acknowledging that they were murdered. How can you acknowledge the murders if you're advocating for the person saying, well, I know he's a nice guy, he's just had some mental problems, and she's playing the blame game. She's doing what a lot of family members do. Oh, it's this person's fault. It's the government's fault. It's the senator's fault. It's the military's fault. You can't continue to blame people for your issues. Because for all we know, Mr. Decker was a problem before he went into the military. And that's something people don't seem to understand about the military and any other type of organization. A lot of people are already unraveled or were unraveling before they went into the military, went to college, started a job, joined a club, and somehow we say, well, they're the reason they act like this. Not to say they could not have provoked the human. But if you don't know Travis Decker, you can't say it's the military's fault. It's why he killed his kids. And I think that's a lame excuse. Because for all we know, Travis Decker was not well before he went into the military. And I do believe he possibly was a person who did not want to pay his way. He did not want to be responsible for his children. He did not want to pay child support. He was a loafer. He was a drinker. He wowed it out. That's the life he wanted. And that's the perception from the ex-wife's father. And I will agree with the father until otherwise disproved. He did not want to pay his way. So to say after the fact, he was a good guy up until, it's disrespectful to the dead. And the fact that she's the mother, she to me has no respect for her own children to even say such a thing. That's my public opinion. All right, everybody, let's hear about this possible sighting of Mr. Decker. Fox 13 Seattle is the source. If you need verification for the information, hello, Randa. Hello, Sky Maiden. Thank you. Hello, Danielle. Hello, everybody in the chat. Welcome to the Bonnet. Thank you.
There's a fresh lead in the search for Travis Decker, the man accused of the horrific murders of his 3 daughters near a Leavenworth campground. Some have reported a possible sighting in Idaho.
Thank you, Scott.
Reported the tip on July 5th after visiting the Bear Creek campground in the Sawtooth National Forest east of Boise. Authorities now confirmed they do believe Decker is armed and should be considered dangerous. I spoke with Supervisory Deputy U.S. Marshal Michael Lee, who's in Idaho. What can you tell us about this tip that came in over the weekend about the sighting that you believe is Travis Decker?
This weekend, Saturday, we had a tipster report seeing someone that description of Travis Decker. They described his tattoos pretty accurately, and it's believed they had not seen previous pictures of those tattoos. Instance, putting out the media releases, we received additional tips that corroborate the eyewitnesses encounter with potentially Travis Decker.
What did they say about his behavior in the tip? How was he acting?
He made eye contact. He kind of was on an ATV trail. It's not frequented by a lot of foot traffic and hikers, and so it was his demeanor and the area that he was in that made it seem a little suspicious. Teachers also described his long ponytail and ungroomed facial hair.
I thought it was interesting. So, Michael, I thought it was interesting in your description that you said he has a history of hitchhiking. That's the first time I've heard that. Can you tell us more about that? Do you think that's how he got to Idaho from Washington State?
That'd be hard to speculate. I think it's more a general caution for those that are in that area. It says that the public service announcement to be vigilant and nothing that's telling me that I'm not there. As you know, Dave, I'm a couple hundred miles from Boise, not on scene, and so my information could be a little delayed, but we are cautioning others around there not to pick up anybody, any strangers into for, just to be mindful of those around them.
What kind of terrain are we talking about in that area?
Well, it's pretty lucky. It's going to be hard for anybody to navigate those areas, especially for longer distances and for longer durations. It's going to present challenges, just like over in Cheyenne County.
Yeah. What kind of resources are you planning into that area? I know time is of the essence. You've been a couple of days since the tip. So, what's the best chance of catching it now?
So we have a multi-agency response, similar to what you saw in Cheyenne County with Wenatchee. We have the store service officers, Kansas County Sheriff's Office, and then our task force made up of multiple different agencies. And we also have Customs Border Patrol out with us in multiple air assets and resources, and additional U.S. Marshal Service. And assets that are also found to include our Special Operations Group. They're standing by to deploy now. They are set up for more equal operations and manhunts based on training and equipment and gear and things of that nature to sustain in that environment over the long haul.
Well, we'll keep putting this photo out there and asking for tips. We'll send tips to the U.S. Marshals Hotline. I know you're offering that $20,000 reward. Thank you for your time today. We'll catch back with you in a couple of days. Things are going. U.S. Supervisory Deputy U.S. Marshal Michael Lee.
All right, everybody. What say you in the chat? Say to this Decker information. Once again, prayers for our friends in Texas. Lord have mercy. It's the place that you saw it. She spoke to some official that said her information was quite detailed, more detailed than the average information they have received in the past pertaining to sightings of Mr. Decker. I don't know. Do you all believe it's him? Thank you, honey. Thank you all for the wonderful notes. Kind commentary you all have sent the Queen. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I was in terrible pain earlier. I just don't know what to do. I didn't get the injections the other day because I was afraid to get them yesterday, because last time I got them, they were 2 days later. I couldn't even move my leg and it hurt so bad. Same type of pain I'm feeling now. That's why I told him, I said, when you give the injections, what is that going to do for the knee? The cartilage is already gone, you say. So, what's the deal? I'm just at my wit's end. That's why I don't have a lot of drive. If I sound a little disoriented in my commentary, forgive me. I'm just not up to par to really, speak on camera. So that's why I don't have the strength to even get up, dress, even, doll myself up, which, I don't really care to do that anyway. Sit in front of the camera all day. It's not something I want to do anyway. But anyway, most people like the commentary when you show yourself. But once again, thank you all for the kind words. Where I have the problem with this Decker situation is this, okay? Hello, Julia. Thank you so much. That wow comment is for Miss Sky May. Oh, Lord. If this was all planned to unalive the kids, go into hiding, he has to have food. You got to have toiletries. That's where I have a problem with this. At some point, you would have to break the law in order to survive, okay? Which he's already done that by murdering the children. So my thing is, stealing a car, beating somebody over the head, that would mean nothing. He's already done that by killing the kids. So what's the end game? To just keep roaming, walking, roaming, exhausted, it's becoming exhausted in the wilderness to do what? To chase, to hunt, what? Fascinated by the chase, to hunt? No Wi-Fi, no phone. You got to be somewhere to plug up a phone. People know what he looks like. So whether he shaves his head, wears a bald cap, a turban, somebody's still going to look at the face and say, that's him. Shave a beard, mustache, that's him. What's this plan? Because that's what I'm trying to get an understanding. If these people really are seeing Mr. Decker, what's the end game? Did he buy up a bunch of toiletries, hit him somewhere in the mountains, and just going to stay in this certain location? The lady said she saw a rolled up bed, but it wasn't big enough, like a what am I trying to say? I can't think of what I'm trying to say. Sleeping bag. Sleeping bag wasn't big enough for the backpack he was carrying. So basically, she's saying she's talking about a smaller backpack. So then, in my mind, that didn't make any sense. Because aren't you going to have toiletries? Aren't you going to have some type of kit? Something. You need things. You need food, duh. Canteen, water. And naturally, all that stuff's going to get heavy. So that's why I said it. The end game would have to be, you're going to have to be breaking in people's homes to survive. It's not saying that people don't live off the grid in the wilderness, but you still have to eat. So is he going to be trying to what? Kill a baby bear, a moose? What? That's all I'm saying. If this was his plan to, number one, unalive the kids, go on the run, what is the end game? What was the actual preparations? Or is this just fly by night? I killed the kids, but I didn't have a plan thereafter. See, we don't know, because we don't even know if the man's alive. Take the polls on my community page, because I'm asking you once again, is this man alive? Are these real sightings of Mr. Decker? Okay? Did he plan to murder those kids? And did he also plan to go on the run afterwards into the wilderness? And as I said, common sense will tell you, you have to have a survival kit. Food, for one. And then it's heavy carrying things. Duh. The more things you carry, the heavier it is. So make it make sense. Maybe he thinks he's real live Rambo. Okay. Oh, Scott says, in my opinion, he's only surviving, not thriving. Oh, ibuprofen. Okay. Well, I can't take any. 7 days before the surgery, I'm not allowed to take anything. Ibuprofen or acetaminophen. That's going to be a problem, because I pray I don't get a headache or anything, because that means I won't be able to take any type of aspirin next week, because the surgery will be 2 weeks from now on a Monday. So next Monday I can't take anything up until surgery. Got a long list of what I can and can't do. I'm going to take a brief intermission. You all give me time, just a few minutes. I got to check on something, and I will be right back. Just give me a few minutes. Thank you. Give me a few minutes. One second, everybody. All right, everybody. Sorry. Don't ask. Oh, they're like, what the hell happened to Queen? Sorry. The elevator wasn't working. I had to go get something from downstairs, and it wasn't there, and the elevator wasn't working as usual. The other one's it's messed up too. Now we got two messed up elevators. It finally started working. Somebody was sick on a stretcher, and they were trying to get it up, the ambulance people, and it wasn't working. So that's what took me so long. Oh, I'm so sorry. Anyway, back to Mr. Decker. As I said before, I'm trying to understand, which as I keep telling myself, don't try to understand, because when you try to do the motive, there's no reason for killing kids. So I'm going to scratch that. That means nothing to me because he had no business unaliving his children. There's no sane, logical reason to unalive your children. But the forethought, okay, why did you kill your kids? I think it's because he didn't want to be responsible. You alleviate the children, you alleviate what I call the threat. I don't have to be responsible. I don't have to pay child support. I don't have to keep getting notices. I don't have to keep appearing to court. I don't have to be obligated. Number two, was it planned or spur of the moment? Don't know. End game. Is this man alive or is he deceased? I don't know. But I'm just trying to wrap my head around however it came about. If he is alive, the survival rate of hiking, camping, and you don't have adequate resources. Because you're talking about being in a place where now it's warm, during the day, possibly cool at night, but you still have to eat, you still have to use the bathroom, you need water to stay hydrated. Not that I care, because to me, he's a nobody. He's a nobody in my eye. He's somebody to God because he's a child of God, but he's not my child. I could care less. And anybody supporting him, that's another thing I mentioned to the nurse yesterday. What type of person would support Travis Decker? I don't want to hear anything about somebody being an American, served in the military. I don't care about that. We thank you for your service, but you're a damn nut. And to blame the military, as the ex-wife wants to claim, that's a low blow. Because my thing is, how well do you know Mr. Decker? I'm sure when you met him, he had some flaws, possible flaws that should have possibly led you not to even date him or marry him. But that's water under the bridge. But to blame the military for why your children are unalive, come on now. As I said, this commentary is disrespectful to her children. And somehow she does not see this. And then you've gotten $1 million+ from people here in the United States. As I told the nurse yesterday, if I was any of these people and I heard that commentary, any people with a lick of sense, I'd ask for my damn money back. Oh, it's the military's fault. Oh, okay. Oh, he was a good guy up until he killed your kids. Okay, well, give me my damn money back. I want my money back. Since you don't want to lay the responsibility on your ex-husband for murdering your children, and we're sending you all this damn money to help you. And as I said, the GoFundMe, that should have been cut off at some point. She doesn't really need any money except to bury her children and possible enough money to live off of for less than a year if she decided not to go back to work. I get it. People grieve, but in the real world, people grieve every day. People, mom, dads, die from cancer, car accidents, overdoses, suicide, and they have to get up and go to work. They have to still pay their mortgage. Yeah, we'll keep it real. People have to continue on living, even when people pass away. So for this person to be sitting up here with $1 million and then has the audacity to blame the military and say, oh, he was a great guy before this, he just had some problems, you're sugarcoating the fact that this motherfucker is unhinged, if indeed he's still alive. And there are no words to describe why in the world this woman would say such ignorant shit. Ignorant shit. And this man suffocated her kids and zip tied their wrists threw them down an embankment. Yes, Missy, somebody needs to check you. I'm the one that's going to do it. He suffocated 3 of your children that you gave birth to and carried for 9 months. And he felt your children were not worthy of life. And the kind citizens of this country have given you $1 million. And you still want to uphold this heathen? Okay. Well, I tell you what, give that damn money back. How about that? Give all the money back and go sue our national government for Travis Decker's attitude disposition. Since the military is the reason he became unhinged and murdered your children, didn't want to pay child support, didn't want to work a job, didn't want to act like a grown-up, didn't want to grow up, you go find you a lawyer to sue the military for Travis Decker's issues. That's what you should do. That's what you should do. Sue the military since it's their fault. They failed Travis Decker. They didn't help him. They didn't get him care. They didn't get him meds. You don't even know what Mr. Decker has even been doing with his spare time. Was he seeking out help? Was he trying to seek out help from veterans clinics, hospitals? Did he keep appointments? Where's the nearest hospital clinic where he could get help, medical help, mental help? See, those are the questions nobody's answering. What was his protocol? What was he doing? Because we already learned he wasn't even following the judge's instructions pertaining to the children. Come on with it, Quinn. So if he can't follow instructions to see his own children, he's not going to follow instructions to better his health, his state of mind. And that's my commentary on that. That's my commentary. I can't remember if it was the brother or the father, but they said that he did not want to be an adult anymore. Yeah, that was her father. That was the ex-wife's father. And that's his opinion. And I'm going to ride on that ex-father-in-law's opinion. That Mr. Decker just didn't want to be obligated. And there are many people who get into relationships, marriages, having children, and they realize it's not for them. And let me say, it's nothing wrong with saying to oneself, hey, I can't do this. This isn't for me. But the flip side is you're going to catch hell because people are going to judge you. Oh, well, why'd you have all those children? Why'd you keep making babies? Why didn't you ask the lady to use birth control? Why didn't you use birth control? Why didn't you use a condom? You didn't want to have any more children. It makes no sense to keep making baby after baby when you know you don't really want to be a father. And at some point, this woman had to have seen the signs. So we can really go deep in the belly of the beast, considering this woman wants to make these ignorant comments about Mr. Decker and her children. Well, ma'am, at some point, didn't you see that Mr. Decker wasn't fit to be a father? Maybe he wasn't fit when you were dating him. Stay woke. Maybe he showed signs he was irresponsible even when you were dating him. Ultimate jokester. Everything's a joke. Everything's funny. Maybe he didn't want to pay his way. See, you got to ask all those questions. Who paid for the dates when they were dating? Yeah, let's go there. When they got married, who was paying for everything? They lived on military housing. Well, he doesn't have to be responsible in that arena either, because everything's free. Everything's free. So when you went to the real world, we're not on military housing anymore. You got to pay real bills, light bill, water, gas, trash fee, rent, car note, car insurance, groceries, kids need clothes, formula. If she's not getting anything from the state, such as food stamps, welfare check, WIC, you see where I'm going. It costs to be an American. And I don't care if you get any type of assistance from the government. HUD housing, food stamps, it still costs. The government is not giving out sanitary napkins and deodorant, washing powder and conditioner and shampoo for those who think getting free housing means something. Yeah, it means something to some degree, but you still have to buy other things. And as the old saying goes, free ain't really free. Exactly. Because there's stipulations with free. Free housing, free toiletries, free this. Oh, we got free food over here on 15th Street. Well, you also got to make your way over there to 15th Street. What if you can't walk? What if you're handicapped? What if you're bedridden? Stay woke. Some people may not like my opinion. I don't care. I call a spade a spade. Anybody rallying behind Mr. Decker, you need to have your head checked too. Because I feel like if you're rallying behind him, you'll be the same person that would knock your kids off. I said that. And I also have to question this mother. What type of mother is she? Because there's no way Mr. Decker could get favor from me, and he has murdered my children. Brutally murdered my babies. And then people have given me money in a GoFundMe. Way more than I could ever deserve. Because as they say, what value can you put on a life? You lost your children. It's not like an insurance company paid her money because some company was at fault for the deaths of her children. Her ex-husband killed her kids, not a steamroller that went out of control, or somebody was in a tractor trailer and fell asleep behind the wheel, hit her babies. A man she liked, dated, loved, married, had children with, had a house with at one point. Something went bump in the night between the two. They went their separate ways. He still was trying to cling on to her at some point. I don't know if he ever even accepted the fact that he was no longer with a wife and kids. I think he still was longing for them. But what you have to tell yourself, if a person can plot the deaths of their children and getting them on a custody visit, what the fuck do you think he would have done if he was living in the house with them and they had a disagreement or an argument? I'm telling you, he was slowly unraveling in her midst when she claims when he decided to start having all these problems. He was unraveling then. You just didn't know it. And on this fateful day he comes to get those children was to jump off. And I fought the judge as well. He should have had supervised visits with his children until he got a stable environment, a place that could be verified that's in his name. They had running water, food, a couch, a bed, something for the children to sleep on. You got to verify stuff. Just can't take somebody's word to come to court. Oh, yeah, I got an apartment. I got a trailer. You need to know that the trailer's got running water, got heat, got air. There's food in the refrigerator. The person's got reliable transportation to pick up the kids, drop the kids off. Those things need to be verified by a state worker. So you all thought he was all right. He wasn't all right because he's probably been plotting the day to get rid of those kids. And see, that's the scary part, like I said. How long he was plotting to get rid of his kids. This shows you Travis Decker, he didn't have anything to live for. Because what type of life are you about to have after murdering your kids? You're not about to have any type of life. You're not about to have any type of life. You murdered your kids. You didn't turn yourself in. That's nothing. There's no life. If he turned himself in, he's going to die in prison. Either life, naturally, beat up, hurt, or death penalty. Number two, alternative. He can stay on the run for so long. But what type of life is that, running in the wilderness after you've slaughtered your kids for no damn reason? And as I said, there is no logical reason to unalive children. I don't care if you have wayward children acting out. The only way I can see killing your kid is if your kid was trying to harm you, coming at you with a bat, a knife, a gun, and you were trying to survive. That's the only reason I can see unaliving your child. Your child was attacking you, and you were trying to stay alive. But these were small children. They're babies. What did they do to Mr. Decker? Nothing. They were born. Checkmate. They were born. I don't need this aggravation. I can't keep a job. I don't want to work. I want to drink. I want to get high. I want to ride around and sleep in tents and sleep in the wilderness and sleep in my truck. Fuck a job. Fuck them kids. I don't need it. I don't need them. That's what nobody seems to get. He wasn't going to hold weight even when he was with the wife. That's probably why they're not together. Ding, ding, ding. You all better wake up. I'm woke. He didn't want what she wanted. It sounded good in the beginning. Oh, la-di-da, I love you. I love you too. Let's get married. Okay. Until you got to pay the due bill, plural. Oh, hell no. That baby needs this. This baby needs this. Damn, she's pregnant again. Another baby. Need this. Need this. Oh, the mama needs something. The wife needs something. Shit, I'm checking out. I want to do this. I want to go shoot pool. I want to go fishing. I want to go hunting. I want to go hang with Roscoe. I don't want to burp a baby, change a diaper. I ain't signed up for this. Damn, it's 3 of them now. Ding, ding, ding. What is she doing? Crying in the corner. Why won't you act right? I love you. I thought you loved me. Don't you love our children? Hell no. Hell no, I don't love them. You. I don't love myself. Exactly. Because a decent human would have told his wife of his thoughts, his thought process, what's bothering him. Hey, I care about you all, but this ain't me. I can't do this mentally. I'm not mentally together. And as I said, I respect a person if they're truthful. I don't have to like their answer, their response, but I can respect you if you tell the truth. Hey, this ain't for me. Being a father is not for me. Being a husband is not for me. Being responsible is not for me. I can't do this. See, I think he wanted his cake and his ice cream and everything else, but he didn't want to play the part, and that's where it becomes dangerous. I want a mate, but I really can't be a mate. The children there, I could do without them, but I don't want to be responsible for them either. All he had to do was tell her the truth. This ain't for me. And you got some men who will tell you, I don't really want to be a father, but I'll pay for the kid. But I ain't trying to interact with the kid. Ding, ding, ding. I don't want to interact with the kid. And see, Mr. Decker could have been the type, I'll deal with the kids, but I don't want to pay for them. See, everybody's role is different. Everybody's thought process is different. So Decker could have been the type, he wanted to see the girls, but he ain't trying to pay for shoes, clothes, school supplies, dance lessons, so on and so forth. I want to see my kids, but I don't want to be financially responsible for my kids. As I said, it could be either or. And he wasn't the or. Hey, the kids are here, really don't want them, but I'm going to pay for them anyway. But I ain't trying to spend no time with them. He's not the or. He's the one. I want to see them kids, but I ain't trying to pay for them. I'm not trying to be an adult and do right by them kids. I ain't trying to pay for dance lessons, karate lessons, summer camp, this, that, and the other. Nah, that ain't my type of hype. Oh yeah, I want the wife, but I don't really want to do right by the wife. Do you see what I'm saying? He is delusional, if indeed he's still alive. He wants to pretend to be happy family, but he don't want to do what it takes to be a happy family. And we have a lot of people out here like this. And I always say that when I look at Facebook pictures, IG pictures, documentaries, just the illusion of looking at people and assessing what is the truth in looking at them. And the one thing I've learned about people, you really don't learn people until you deal with them. And this is why I don't really like dealing with a lot of people, because I'd rather like you not knowing you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I know that once I get to know you, I'm going to see some shit I don't like, and you will probably see some shit about me you don't like. And that's when you start forming your opinions. And frankly, I don't want those opinions in my head. That's just quaint. I like you better if I see you on the street and I just say hello to you, and you work at the Costco, the Walmart, and I go through your line a few times a week, and I just know you as Pat. Hey, Miss Pat, how you doing? Good to see you. Boom, boom, boom. And keep it like that. Because I know that possibly if I got to know Miss Pat, the real Miss Pat, probably won't like her. So I'm just saying. Because I see this all the time in life. That passing through, passing people at the job, passing people on at the train stop, passing people in the apartment building, the neighborhood, they all right until you get to know them, and then you realize, fuck, I wish I never spoke to this motherfucker. This motherfucker's crazy. They probably thinking the same about you. You know what I'm saying? But that's life. You don't really know people until you deal with them. And sadly, this lady, this man, the two ships in the night, they passed, they met up, meet and greet, dated, married, had children, didn't work out for whatever reason. And then he one day picked up his children on a custodial visit and he unalived them. End of story. And he's believed to be alive. You entitled to think he's alive or not. But the point is, 3 children suffered the consequences of Mr. Decker's unhingement. And they're not coming back. And this lady can go on and meet another guy and make some more children and be right back in the pot she just crawled out of. Because we all have to claim the role we play with people. And for all I know, she may not be telling us the whole truth about Mr. Decker. And the reason why I say this is for the obvious reason. If you will uphold Mr. Decker killing your kids and giving him a pass, because yeah, I'm going to say uphold, because the fact that you want to blame the military means you're upholding him. You're blaming somebody else when you can't put everything on Mr. Decker's behavior on the military. Because possibly you saw signs that Mr. Decker was not right when you were dating him, number one, before you even had a baby. Come on with it, Queen. Because we do this in life, do we not? We see the signs a motherfucker ain't right, and we still play footsies with them. Now we're knocked up pregnant. Now we're married and we're miserable as hell. And we saw the signs, and somebody else saw the signs. And somebody else told us, he ain't right, she ain't right. Better leave him alone. But I love him. So for all we know, this woman has been known Decker ain't right. And she's been sugarcoating shit for the news because she don't want to tell the real truth of who Mr. Decker is. And like I said, if you're willing to uphold him and blame the military, you probably have lied about everything pertaining to Mr. Decker. And I got a problem with that. But hey, I ain't in her shoes. Amen. And I ain't got to carry that burden around of knowing the real Mr. Decker and also having 3 children snuffed out by my ex-husband. She got to sleep with that, Queen don't. And hell no, I wouldn't want to be in her shoes. Because this leads me to believe she's been delusional just like Mr. Decker. Stay woke, everybody. This woman has been just as delusional. And if we could take a peek into the looking glass, there are probably a lot of instances that transpired between the two where most of us probably would have said, whoo, you should have been left his ass. She don't have to tell us everything that went on between she and he, how he acted, how he responded. Did he fly off the handle off the smallest thing? Were they intimate? Did they even have sexual relations throughout the relationship? Was he happy with her sexually? She happy with him sexually? See, those are the things people are not going to tell the public because they'll say that's none of your damn business. Who was the primary caretaker of the children? Who was paying the bills at the household when they were not living in military houses? See, all those things matter. How he acted when she first met him. How did he behave? How did he talk to her? How did he treat her? What were their conversations like? Was he dominant, non-dominant? Passive? I don't think he was passive. Or was she doing what a lot of women do? Men too. You just dealt with it because you didn't want to be alone. You dated him because he was the next best thing at that time. And I think a lot of people are doing that. That's why I'm talking about the looking glass, looking in it, and realizing what you think you're looking at, you ain't. Happy pictures of people on vacation, taking cruises. They're on the sand with their shades and bathing suits, taking selfies. Everybody looks like they're having a great time until they get back to home base and you start hearing the little whispers. They not together. What you say? Girl, they not together. He left her. She left him. Well, wait a minute. They just took some pictures on Facebook 2 weeks ago where they went on vacation to Florida. Oh, honey, they getting a divorce, honey. Because a lot of times, as I said, we settle. Or we sugarcoat things for the meanwhile when we're already planning an escape. You see this all the time with people. Because that's the one thing I've said myself, looking at photographs of people, looking at a guy with a lady, and I said, oh, I didn't know he had a girlfriend. The next thing I know, like 2 months later, he's talking crazy in his stories, Facebook stories. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess they ain't together no more. I thought, well, damn. I guess he was dating her and nobody knew, or it was something new and it didn't work out. Either way, they splitsville. You understand what I'm saying? Because you don't know people. And possibly he didn't know her. From what his little memes and little sayings, he didn't know her. She opted out, possibly. Or he opted out. Naturally, he doesn't have to tell the whole story. And as they say, everything's about perception. And there's 2 sides to the story and the truth. It's just a matter of who do you want to believe. But the truth is somewhere in the middle. You don't know people. And people can walk around mild-mannered, passive, don't rock the boat. They don't get loud. They don't argue. They don't fuss. And then one day, they unalive their family, shoot the mom, shoot the kids, shoot the co-workers, then go sit in the car and unalive themselves. And everybody's sitting around asking that main question, what happened? He was such a nice guy. He was a great father. Oh, he was a great husband. Oh, I never saw them fuss. I never heard them fuss. He doesn't have a criminal record. He went to work every day. He paid the bills. Oh, he was the coach for the Little League team or Boy Scouts. But the point is, you didn't know him because you didn't know his mindset. He flaked out for whatever reason. Maybe owed a lot of debt. Maybe he defrauded someone. Maybe he's having an affair and he was caught. The wife threatened to leave, divorce him. Maybe he found out his wife was cheating. See, a multitude of reasons that people pop off, go ham on a lot of people. And some of the people don't have a unsavory background that you know of. And people speak kindly of them because you can only speak on what you actually know and your perception. But see, the thing about perception is that what you see and have heard of a person, that may not be somebody else's version. And that's where the conflict comes in. Oh, well, he didn't act like that around me. He wasn't mean to me. He wasn't nasty to me. Oh, I don't know anything about him having any affairs. Oh, I don't know anything about him dipping in the man pond. Oh, I didn't know he was gay, bisexual. I don't know anything about that. Who are you speaking of? That's not my friend. That's not my brother. That's not my son. Well, who is your son? What is your perception of your son? And is your perception of your son accurate? Or do you know more about your son that you're not willing to admit to? That is life, is it not? Perception. And it's a dangerous thing, having a perception of someone. Because sometimes that's all you have, is what they claim to be or were. Is Travis Decker alive? Number one. Did this lady see Travis Decker? What is the end game going to be if indeed Mr. Decker is alive? Take the poll on my community page. Bryan Kohberger gave a written confession pertaining to the unaliving of the Idaho 4 students. He claimed that it was intentional malice, but he did not give a motive, and the Gonzalez family are not pleased with the plea deal, and they want state to try him, which we now know that is never going to happen. We're going to go to my community page and read the results pertaining to, hold on, what you all gave. And now that saying the cops are issuing an urgent warning about Mr. Decker. Obviously, he's possibly armed, dangerous, which we know that. Idaho force. If you see Mr. Decker, please do not approach him naturally. And what we also have to think about is the worst case scenario, that he may have harmed other people in order to stay alive out here and move about. Because, as I said, he would have to pack a lot of things to try to stay alive in the wilderness. And that will become heavy and daunting at some point, carrying a lot of baggage, hiker's backpack, one of the big backpacks, windedly, day for day, day for day. Now they learn how to do all that type of hiking and carrying gear in the military. But at some point, you stop carrying all those things when your mission is completed. Is he equipped at this point in life to carry heavy gear into the wilderness day for day, month for month, even years? Just saying. That's why I said, what was the end game pertaining to Mr. Decker? Pre-planned to kill the kids, pre-planned to have items stowed away somewhere in the wilderness. And if he's in another state, then that means he had to carry the items with him, or did he take the items and pre-stored them in this Idaho wilderness? But if this lady only saw a small backpack, that sounds very strange to me. That he only has the bare minimum. Just saying. Is Mr. Decker alive? 78% says yes. 11% no. 11% not sure. Travis Decker possible sighting. 13% yes. 25% no. Wow. Not sure it was him. 63%. So most of you, there's only 8 people voting. You're not sure that that was Mr. Decker. Okay? Has he cut his hair? I should have asked that question. So 78% of you believe he's alive, but as far as the sighting, 63% of you don't believe it's him. Very interesting. I asked some other questions, and I'm going to come back on live maybe later tonight if I got, feeling better. I'm going to talk about things going on with the Trump administration, modern technology, the way people are nowadays, where they act, where they behave, all these videos on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, of people acting out, acting crazy, walking around half naked, posting any type of crazy thing. Are we oversharing? We're going to just go into Belly the Beast later on in another live. Here are some questions I asked pertaining to the Trump administration. Trump administration to garnish wages on defaulted school loans. This is a part of his big budget plan, I guess, to rid America of its current debts. 63% of you said it's good. 38% of you said not good. 0% of you said not sure. Asking for an email address to open retail, medical, business, government accounts, and portals. 7 people voted. Good idea, 0%. Not good, 86%. Unsure, 0%. Don't care either way, 14%. Trump administration to cut health and medical programs. I think I'm supposed to put another something else that's supposed to be in that question. But anywho, 11% good, 72% bad, 17% unsure, and don't care, 0%. I think it was something else I read. It was health and something else. I'm sure there are going to be lots of cuts. Oh, I think it was food programs. That's what I was supposed to be at. I'll reword and put up another poll. All right, everybody. I'm going to make a few shorts. Check out the YouTube queue for those upcoming shorts pertaining to Mr. Decker and these Trump administration cuts, defaulted loans. Do you think it's right to garnish wages for defaulted loans? Take the poll, everybody. 2-part live. Bryan Kohberger, Travis Decker. You all have a wonderful week. Once again, thank you for the kind words. I'm trying to make it, everybody. In a lot of pain, but it is what it is. Until I get something done about this knee. I've got a little while before they can do something, because I've got a regimen I have to go on before they'll allow me to undergo surgery. But the thyroid surgery is a go. 21st of this month, that's on a Monday. I want to get that thing out of my neck and keep it moving. Amen. God bless all of you. Thank you for your time. Oh, Danielle, you're welcome. Anytime, honey. Anytime. Yeah. She was cutting up earlier today. I mean, I just, it was so bad I thought I was going to just regurgitate. That's how bad the pain was. And now I'm having regrets that I didn't get the injections done yesterday. But I was just so leery of getting stuck in my knee, because I was going to get both of them done, get both of them stuck with injections. And I thought, man, I can't risk my knees hurting again. And then he had a little snide comment, the doctor. So I didn't mention this in the on the commentary on the you all's post, under my post, but he was like, is your doctor a surgeon? Because I told him she had administered them back in October, and my legs started hurting really bad. My knees started hurting really bad 2 days later on that Monday. And I said, oh, you're tooting your own horn? I see. And he was like, well, I'm just saying she's not a surgeon. But the point is, like I told him, it doesn't matter if she's my doctor. If she doesn't know how to administer the shots, then she shouldn't be administering them. Well, it's not normal for you to get knee pain after the shots. And I'm like, well, yes, I can see your point of view because I have had them done before somewhere else, and I didn't have knee pain that excruciating after the shots. So I get where you're coming from. I can't say why I had excruciating knee pain after the shots. I can only assume the lady knew what she was doing because she's a healthcare provider. Now he didn't want me to get ignorant because I could have said, well, look, you got a problem with me having pain back in October, then go call her and ask her what she did wrong. I ain't coming here to argue about why Queen's knees hurt so bad. What can I do about what happened in October? Nothing. So what you want me to do? Get huffed and go call her and tell her, hey, the surgeon said you don't know what you were doing. And then, Queen had to come back because I'm quick with the comeback. I said, well, I've Googled that those shots can deteriorate your bones inside and that they're not really good in the end. I mean, because when you think about it, you are sticking something in my leg, a steroid, to make it feel better. But like I told him, what difference do it make if I still ain't got no cartilage in that? Meaning it's going to eventually start back hurting. So the nurse who I saw yesterday at the hospital said, yeah, that shot would help you for a couple of months to 3 months. That's why they do them in 3 months intervals. It should help for 3 months. I said, yeah, but that's the point. I still don't have no cushion inside. So eventually the shots are going to wear off. And my thing is, do they have a guarantee that if I had gotten the shots yesterday, that I would be pain-free for a total of 3 months? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Because now, with what was rendered from the orthopedic surgeon, it's severe arthritis. Hello? And then when I had the car accident 2 weeks ago, they also found allegedly mild arthritis in that left arm that got yanked, in that accident. So I'm obviously an arthritic patient at this point in my limbs. So we're not just going to be talking about pain in the knees. We're also going to be talking about pain in other parts of my body. Okay, she says every 3 months I have to go to the hospital. Shots on my back and on both sides. Good Lord, girl. And that's another thing I was thinking about today. It's the hip. Because, they go in some type of order. One day it's your knee, the next day it's your hip. I can't afford to fall, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Knees being this weak, that's all it takes is one fall. Now you've got broken knees, broken legs, shins, and God forbid, a broken hip. And the hip is very hard to heal. It's the worst to heal. He did tell me my downtime would be 6 weeks on the knee, which isn't too bad. Because I kept thinking it was 3 months, but I had to remember, it's the hip replacement that's 3 months. So my thing is, I'm not trying to fall because it doesn't take much, if you lose your balance or anything. So that's why I want to do everything while it's still warm. Most people think, well, do it in the winter. Well, in the winter, you got to get out and go to the store to do something. Do I really want to be out there healing with, sewed up knee? God forbid you lose your bearings, break something, open up your wound. I just think like that. I want them all done now, get it over with. And I've been getting weighed. A little weight has fallen off past couple weeks. So that's part of the regimen for the knee surgery. It's just a battle right now. And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't even like thinking about it, quite frankly, because it makes me sick to my stomach and it makes me very irritated. And I've been irritated, and that's why I stay irritated. If you didn't know, you now know. Because I'm in so much pain, I can't even think. That's why I told you my mind, my patience is short, and I just can't listen to anything now. people talk, conversate, gibberish. Even on the TV, I get annoyed listening to the television, what they're saying. I don't even care what the video is about. It could be about anything. It could be about apples. I can't listen to the people talk. I can't even listen to myself talk. That's why I didn't want to be here this long. If it wasn't for me stepping out for a minute and the elevator got stuck. It took me so long to get back in. Apologize for that. But I just don't have any patience. I just don't have any patience for anything. And the past month and a half, I'm just irritated as hell. And don't give a damn if somebody like it or not. This is my journey. It's not yours. So it don't matter. Because like I tell people, until you walk in somebody's shoes and they tell you that, you don't know what people got going on and what they're dealing with. You just stay in your lane and I'll stay in mine. That's how I'm living right now. I don't care what nobody got going on. And I will tell you to your face, please do not cross me. Because I am somebody you do not want to cross the way I'm feeling. I'm just keeping it real. I just don't have no patience for foolishness. And like I told that nurse yesterday, when you get sick and you don't feel well, you realize what is important. And excess, whatever it may be, excess drama, baggage, junk, stuff in your house, whatever, stuff in your brain, it's not important. And that's how I feel right now. I don't want to be bothered. And that's just my journey right now. I don't want to be bothered with nonsense. I don't want to hear any nonsense. I don't want to be bothered with nonsense. I don't want to be involved in nonsense. All I want to do is get better. I want to feel better. Like they say, try me on a day when I give a damn. But right now, I don't give a damn. I'm just keeping it real. If you all really knew how bad I was, the shape I'm in, you'd be quite stunned. I don't tell everything on the live. Use your imagination. It's really bad. But I'm holding on because I don't have no choice. Because I don't have a caregiver. And I'm not about to have a caregiver. Because I'm not about to let the devil have control. Randall says, I don't like that word, patience. Okay, you said that's with me. They found out that I have osteoporosis, so I have to be super careful. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I do believe some of that arthritis is osteoarthritis. So, yes, I do not want to get banged up in any form or fashion because, see, that's what people don't understand about having a limb that is deteriorating. You have to be careful not to bang, bump, fall, because naturally you're now getting ready to break the one thing that's already messed up. And then you got to worry about your other limbs, such as your hips. You do not want to fall. And because people don't really know how downhill people become when they fall. Usually people become worse after they take a fall. That's a common thing, especially in the elderly. I'm not what I consider elderly, but people much older, 70 plus, they fall, they usually don't fare well thereafter. And that's what my fear is. I do not want to have any type of bumping falls to where I'm immobile. I've got to get help because I will be a horrible patient because I don't want nobody doing nothing to my body. Don't touch me. I don't want you bathing me. Because I'm funny about my hygiene. I look at all those things. And that's why I tell the young people, you hee-hawing around now, jumping around. Well, Queen used to do all those things too. She ain't doing all that shit now. You better pray your body stays in the condition to where you can jump around, hop around, walk for hours, sightseeing, because there may be a day and time in life you're not going to be able to do those things. And you're going to be sick to your stomach when you realize you can't just jump up, get ready like you used to. That's something that bothers me a lot now. I seem like I'm moving slower to get ready, to get prepared, just to go on the errands. And that's something that irritates the hell out of me. I'm used to getting up, boom, 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 getting ready. And even though I thought even then when I was moving faster, I still felt like I was moving slower. Because, when you're a woman, just have extra stuff to do. For me anyway. So now it's like, oh, That's why I dread going any place now, because it's like, oh God, here we go. We got to get this leg moving. We got to push up. We got to do this. We got to go in the bathroom. We got to do all the girly stuff. It's like, damn, who knew it was going to be like this? I would never have imagined at 54 I would be in this much pain. And just like I told the nurse, I'm not a lazy person. I keep a clean house. I still clean more than I should be doing with this bad knee, because the right is worse. He said the left one has it too. The cartilage is, most of it's gone out of the left too, but he says your right one is just purely gone. But I still clean, wash dishes, sweep, mop, did all that late last night, early in the morning. That's never going to change about me. That's why I'm trying to keep the minimum of stuff. Threw some stuff in the dumpster early this morning, 5-something in the morning, because I have to keep the least amount of stuff, as not to be contending with reaching, grabbing, trying to keep stuff straightened. And as I said to the nurse yesterday, when you get older, you realize you don't need as much stuff as you think you do. And I wish a lot of people would understand this. That shit's okay until you get sick. And I got emotional during that, EKG testing and all that yesterday in lab works, because I thought about my mother. And I never told a lot of people this, but my mother was a hoarder, and she hoarded new things. She had shopping bags all around her house piled up. And it was a sight to see, knowing she was dying of cancer amongst all that stuff. And so I take it personal when I talk to you all about clutter. It may seem funny to some of you, but it's not funny, because it's just like what I said. That shit won't matter to you the day you cannot walk, the day you cannot get up to go fix yourself an omelet, go to the refrigerator to get a drink of orange juice. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't sit on the toilet. You're not comfortable. You can't take a shower because you can't lift your damn leg because you're sick. So every little knick-knack, paddywhack, clothes, shoes, Victoria's Secret bottles, whatever the hell it is you're collecting, stop. Because when you get ill, those things have no value, because you won't give a fuck about that junk. You won't care about an app, your phone, Facebook, how many pairs of jeans you got, Coach bags. Do you all see what I'm saying to you? That shit won't mean nothing to you. That's why I don't want a lot of stuff in my house, because I don't want to live that way. I don't know what shape I'm going to be in to walk around. I don't want to stumble over stuff. I want the EMTs to be able to get in my door to get to me. I want to be able to run out, push out, scoot out in case there's a fire, a flood, anything. You have to think like that. And a lot of people don't want to, because you're attached to stuff. Please, free yourself. Free yourself. You don't need all that stuff. And as I was watching a video the other day about thrifting, it was on PBS, and they were talking about more people are thrifting because they can't afford to shop, in their stores because of the prices and everything, online, blah, blah, blah. Thrifting is a good thing, because a lot of people get rid of a lot of nice things. But the one thing I've learned, I said this to the nurse too, a lot of the people I see at the thrift stores, I would see them at the thrift store I just left, and they're probably hoarders. And most of them are hoarders. So they're going to the thrift store buying stuff that they don't need. That's the craziest phenomenon I've ever heard of. You're thrifting and you don't need to thrift. You don't need nothing in your house because your house is already packed up. But anyway, that's my little mild life lesson in humor for today. Oh, she's helping you unclutter now. That's good. Oh, 14. Wow, that's a young age. That's why I got me a sofa bed. That way I don't have to climb the stairs so much if I'm not in pain to sleep on a sofa couch. Yeah, that's a good idea. And it's funny you would mention that, Sky. That's what I've been wanting in my living room. It's like a day bed. You know what I'm saying? One that looks like a sofa. You know, something lightweight, but it looks like, you know, not necessarily a bed, but just, you know, I could decorate it, of course, where it doesn't look like a bed. But that's something I was thinking about. So I don't have to come back in this bedroom. I can sleep in the small living area and be close to the restroom because, see, my bathroom is off of my living area. And as of late, the way I feel getting up to go to the bathroom, oh my goodness. You would think I had to walk 2 miles just to go potty, take a shower. And that is why most of the people who live in this building that I live in, they have their bed in their living area. One, because our bedrooms are bigger than our living space. So many people have made their bedrooms their living rooms. I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of people do live like that in the building. And they have their beds in their living. The only thing about that is the obvious reason. Who wants their bed in their living area? Because people could then walk by and hear you moaning and groaning if you're doing something you ain't, you know, that grown folks' business. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, God, I can't believe I just said that on live stream. But anyway, I moved my bed back from the living area. I said, I can't deal with that. I have to have my personal space. I might want to moan when I get up because my leg or back hurt. They may think I'm in there having sex and I ain't having no sex. It's just my damn knee hurts. But you understand what I'm saying. And then too, it started getting a little loud in the hallways. And I was like, nah, I want my bed to be my bedroom. We'll come up with another solution for the living area. But yeah, that's what I would like to have, is like a little decorative day bed, and then have another sitting chair or something in the living space. Because the living space is very tiny. Most people, if you saw the space, you'd be like, what the hell? There's no room for anything. Exactly. Exactly. Ain't no room for nothing. There ain't no room for nothing. Because I had a super long sofa when I first moved. I didn't bring the one I had. I had bought this other one, and it was comfortable. It was too long, and I didn't like the color because it was similar to the color I had on my old sofa. So I donated it to the thrift store. I think Goodwill came and got it. And it was comfortable. That was the bad part. Oh, it was very comfortable. It just was too long, and it was blocking pathway, you know, going to the restroom. So I'm trying to find something else, maybe, I don't know, a love seat. But that's the thing. I want to be able to prop my feet up, you know, that's to help keep swelling down off my ankles and my feet. But anyway, oversharing right now. Well, that's true. The difference between what you need and what you want. Very true. I live in my son's house that has 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. So I have a bathroom. Oh, well, that's wonderful, Sky. So you got a nice setup. That sounds good. Everybody gets along well. Oh, you said cool chairs that open to a sleeping bed. Okay. Yeah, but those are probably heavier too. Those sleeping chairs, because they got to be heavy enough to put the fold the bed out. I'm trying not to have nothing too heavy in the room, in that space, because I really was wanting like 2 oversized, comfortable chairs, and then maybe a nice footstool, a round one, because I always tell you to do round when you're in a small space. Give me a round footstool, not a coffee table. Because I had a really nice coffee table I got rid of. Oh, it killed me to get rid of that coffee table months ago. I sold it on the Facebook Marketplace back in the winter. And I had been wanting a table like that for I don't know how long. When I finally found it in gold, it was round I found it at Goodwill last year. I bought it. But it did take up a lot of space in that living space. That's what I'm saying. That living space is just not conducive as a normal sized living room. It's just not. It's not. It's just weird. Whoever made these buildings, whatever, I don't know what the hell they were thinking to give a person such a little bitty living space, but then give them a nice sized bedroom. It's very weird. I think that's very strange, especially when you're dealing with people who maybe back then, you know, they didn't have scooters then, but they had wheelchairs and they had walkers, it still would be tight with a little bit of furniture in the living space, even with a walker. You know, what I call a damn easy way to trip, bump into something, fall over. But anywho, that's my journey. Thank you all for listening. Yeah, I'm going to come back later. And that's something I do want to talk about. Are we oversharing? Because you got to be very careful what you share on social media, especially being a YouTuber, content creator, because people will use anything against you, mock you, make fun. Oh, she's sick, he's sick, da, 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 da. Or their brother did this. Or, you have to be very careful what you share. So that's why I don't tell everything that I experience or going through on the live stream, because frankly, it's nobody's business. But when there's days going by where I'm not giving you content, woo woo, this is the reason why I'm just not feeling my best, to give content. So I've got to try to muster up some strength in less than 2 weeks, because after the surgery, I'm definitely not going to go live showing myself, with the wound, I'll have a wound that's visible. So I have to wait till that heal up before I start, showing myself. So I'll just go ahead and tell you that now during this live stream. But I'll still be bringing you the shorts and bringing you content via the screen, possibly. But that's the latest. Oh, I live by myself in his house. Oh, I see. Oh, well, that's good. So you ain't stepping over nobody, and ain't nobody stepping over you. Or as we say in the street, in your business. Ain't nobody in your business. I might do a video about that too, Sky. The joys of living alone. Oh, matter of fact, I might do that one tonight. I must show myself. That's a video I'd love to do. The perks of living alone versus living with people. That could be friends, family. I'm gonna be truthful. How some of you do it, kudos to you. I don't want to live with nobody. That's why I said I want to stay tip-top shape. I don't want a caregiver. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be in a nursing home. I don't want to be in assisted living. I like my space. I like my privacy. I don't like to hear people talk. I don't want to hear your television. I don't want to hear you talking to the TV. I don't want to hear you talking on the phone. I don't want to hear nothing. See, you don't have that luxury when you live with other people. That's why I know I don't think I could even be in a relationship where the guy, the male, has a lot of people who visit, come and go, because I'm not accustomed to that type of lifestyle. So that's what I always tell you, why you really have to get to know people when you're dating them, especially if you think it might lead to something serious. You have to weigh everything. I'm jumping off the subject, but seriously, you need to know the people that you are dealing with. How do they deal with their family? Do they have a lot of family members? Do they have children, adult children, grandchildren, pets? All of that matters, because you get yourself sucked into something and then you start looking around like, what the fuck have I done? Damn, they're bringing over the dog, the cat, the sister, the brother. They want to stay 2 weeks. Somebody needs somebody to store something in the garage. This, that, no. I mean, just the stuff that comes along with relationships, courtships. I like being to myself. And as someone said recently, when you look at other people's problems, you can give thanks to God. I don't have those problems. Just like somebody's listening to this story here and they're saying, I'm glad my knees don't ache. I don't have, severe arthritis, thyroid issues. Exactly. Be thankful. And there's somebody somewhere living somewhere that they're not happy. They want their own place. They want their own space. They're sleeping in their car. They're sleeping on somebody's couch, sleeping in somebody's garage. They want out. And I empathize with you. God knows I do. If there's one thing I can empathize with another human, it's that person wanting out and wanting their own space. I get it. Because there's nothing like your own. Now, I've been over a lot of topics, because you all know how I do. When I go live, I talk about a lot of stuff. But that's what we're going to talk about. Next upcoming lives are going to be about oversharing, modern day living, and the perks of living alone. Might put it all in one live. And I might do some shorts about it too. Do you live alone? Do you live with others? That's going to be the next poll after this live stream. So go to my community page and take the poll. Do you live alone or do you live with others? Now I ask you, if you live alone, do you like living alone? Do you like living with other people? And some people are like, well, Queen, I live with my family. And I always say, answer the question. Do you like living with your family? Meaning, either they're your children or your husband. Do you like it? Because just because they're there, it don't mean you like it. And remember, you can answer the question because we don't know who you are. All answers are anonymous. And I'm sure some people are very grateful that they they're grateful that they are. Because they were like, Lord, I don't want nobody to know this is how I feel. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats always welcome to the live stream. Thank you for the love, the kind words. Highly appreciate it. Thank you so much. God is good. I'm highly favored despite it all. And prayers to all of you out there who are going through similar situations with your health. And once again, prayers for our friends in Texas. Prayers for those babies who perished in the flood. I believe there are 5 more girls still missing from Camp Mystic. Oh, Lord have mercy. Looking at the devastation, very hard today, watching News Nation. And I just couldn't wrap my head around the blankets and the trees. You know, my mind started just wondering. And I was just trying to understand, dear God, how, why, mercy. Nature is cruel. She can be cruel. Once again, prayers and condolences to the lost. That's my commentary. Thank you for your time. You can listen to the Vault Excel.